2022 was a great year for horror movies, and there's actually 10 movies that I enjoyed watching this year. 10 movies that I believe they're the best ones that came out from 2022. This is not actually gonna be a ranked video. All these movies on this list, they're my favorite ones that came out from this year. So if I do not mention one of your favorites, this is just my list, guys. Your list might be different than mine's. These were my favorite movies that came out from 2022. If you believe there's other movies that they were better than the ones that came out from my list, just write it down in the comment section below and leave what are your picks for the best horror movies of 2022. Hello guys, I'm Cristopher Zamora. I make horror videos. I talk about horror movies, horror characters, basically anything horror related. So if you guys like that, make sure to give this video a big thumbs up, subscribe to the channel, and keep watching. Without further ado, let's get started. Coming out with number 10, I gotta say, the Texas Chainsaw Massacre. The one that came out early this year. I believe it was good, but to be honest, I did not like how they did the main character that came out in the first original movie. It's not the same actress playing the character from the original Texas Chainsaw Massacre movie from the 70s, but I just did not like how everything ended for her. Oh, and by the way guys, I will be going over some spoilers for this movie, so beware. I cannot believe why they killed off the main character from the original movie just like that. It was like her death did not mean anything, which sucks, man. Which really sucks. Why did they did that? And let's not forget Leatherface. To be honest, he did not act like Leatherface. I believe he mostly acted like Michael Myers in a way. If you see the other Texas Chainsaw Massacre movies, the character always stays the same, and on this one, like there was like no grunting or anything like that. Leatherface does that in all Texas Chainsaw Massacre movies, and it feels like this was a very different Leatherface than one that we got for this Texas Chainsaw Massacre movie. But I think my favorite scene from this movie was actually the bus scene. I think maybe that was the best one. I think that one was the best scene that came out from this movie. And that's why I had to put it on the number 10 list. Coming out with number 9. The next one on the list is The Invitation. Now this one, I did not see any trailers or anything like that, because it seemed like it was a horror movie, and once I watched it, I was a bit surprised at the ending. I had no idea that this movie was actually a vampire movie. Yeah, this one is an actual vampire movie. Morbius, and I believe it was okay. I feel like they should have done a little bit more by the ending of the movie. It just feels like it was a bit rushed for the Invitation movie. And I believe they did a good job with setting up the storyline, but like it felt kind of rushed by the ending of the movie. My next movie on the list, number 8. I gotta say, it was Halloween Ends. Yes, I know. Not many people did not enjoy this movie, but this was the ending trilogy for the Halloween franchise. I liked the character of Corey. I believe the actor who played him did a really well job and did what he was supposed to, play the part. But I feel like they should have not introduced him in the third movie. I think I mentioned this before in my other video, but I believe that Corey should have been a character that they should have mentioned in the very first movie of Halloween 2018, and on the second one, Halloween Kills, he should have had like a small cameo, and maybe we would have cared a little bit more of him in Halloween Ends, because I think that would have been a very good idea, because it's a character that is being talked about in the other previous movies, and on this one it just feels like everything was forced, and the last 20 minutes of the movie were the best ones, because we were looking forward to Laurie and Michael Myers actually fighting each other for the very last time. I think that was the best part of the whole movie, and that's why I had to put this movie at number 8. It's not a bad Halloween movie, but I just did not like how they ended the franchise. Coming in at number 7, I gotta say, Scream 5 is the next one on the list for me. To be honest, I really wasn't looking forward to this movie. If you've seen the other Scream movies, you feel like they just keep repeating themselves over and over again. But like having to use like newer technology and making Ghostface a little bit more scarier, I think that's what made this movie actually good. And I feel like this should have been the rightful ending for this franchise. I know they're actually making Scream 6 for next year, but I believe this should have been the ending for the franchise. To be honest, this movie seems like it was more mysterious and the kills were actually not bad in this movie. It did came out around the beginning of this year, but I believe it actually deserves to be on number 7. And it's actually one of my favorites of this year. Coming in at number 6, I gotta say, it is Pearl. Now this movie, it wasn't really a horror movie, but it was just like a backstory for a character that came out on the next movie I will be talking about in a bit. Now this character was important. I gotta say they did a remarkable job with explaining how the character has came to be. They did a really good job explaining everything about her, and that's why I believe that this movie deserves to be number 6. You actually do feel bad for the character, and I believe that Mia Goth actually did a very wonderful job playing as this character. It's a character that you want to hate, but you actually like as well. And by the ending of the movie, you just feel like, damn, did I just actually went through that? And now I will be speaking to you about number 5. And that one is VHS 99. I was so surprised. Why do people actually hate this movie? It was one hell of a ride. I don't know why people did not like this movie as much as I did. VHS 94, I feel like that movie was like whatever. But like this VHS 99 movie, the short stories they included in this movie were actually scary. The pop-up scenes that came out in this movie were good. Were actually very good. I feel like maybe I should just watch this movie again because this movie was good. I feel like they did a good job explaining the stories and like the pop-up scenes for the horror characters that came out. They were good. I do agree that the first short story it wasn't as great as the other ones that came out after. I think there were 5 short horror stories. 3 out of the 5 that came out were the best ones in my opinion. I think that those were my favorite ones from the actual movie itself. It's pretty good. I enjoyed it and I had a great time watching it. Coming to you with number 4, I gotta say, Prey is number 4 for me. To be honest, this movie actually showed how predators actually came in a world where people were still hunting and gathering. We never really got to see something like that before. And the part where he actually fought the bear, it was so cool, man. It was so badass. And I think the final scene as well, when the girl actually fought the predator, it was good, man. To be honest, in the first time I watched this movie, I did not quite pay attention to it because I was just doing something else. I was multitasking. And for the second time, again, the same thing happened, but like, I get what was going on. Like, the action scenes for this movie, they were pretty good. It wasn't really horror, but the action scenes overall, they were great. And that's why I gotta put this movie on number 4. And now, the final 3 movies. Number 3, it is Terrifier 2. Now this movie was one of the biggest surprises of the year. I really did not know this movie existed until probably I saw something in Twitter. People were tweeting about it non-stop, saying that this was a good movie and it was like scary, nasty. I saw the original one, the one that came out in 2016. And oh my god, dude, this movie was insane. And then once I saw the second one, I had to take like a small break from watching horror movies after that one, man. Terrifier 2 is terrifying as hell. Art the Clown is becoming one of the fastest rising horror stars ever. You know, we have Chucky, Freddy Krueger, Michael Myers. Art the Clown is becoming one of those icons. And maybe once they make a third one, people will really know what this character is about. It was insane, man. Terrifier 2 was good, but I had to put it on number 3 because the other two, the ones that are on top of this one, are still one of my favorite ones. Alright, let's go to number 2. I gotta say, oh man, these two, they were hard to pick, man. I had to say Smile is my number 2 pick. And the reason being is because the first one I will be mentioning real soon, that is the one that I watched twice. But Smile, I've only seen it just once, but it's unforgettable, man. This movie was insane. I loved the trailer for this movie, and I was really hyped to see it. And you know the crazy part is for this movie was actually just gonna be a streaming movie. It was just gonna be a part of the Paramount network, and it wasn't going to be put in theaters. But like since they actually did get positive reviews from the test screenings, they had to put it on movie theaters. And man, dude, this movie was crazy, man. It was insanely good. I do recommend you to watch this movie, but do not watch it by yourself, man, because it's scary, man. This was one of the biggest surprises of the year for me. I think probably the scariest part was when they actually showed the monster. I can't even say what scene was my favorite one because this movie overall was just pretty good. Most of the horror that came out on this movie was very good. The part where the main character's sister, on the trailer, they showed that she was coming to go see her on the car ride. I wish they kept that scene for the movie and not on the trailer. Because that would have been a huge surprise, dude. It would have been a very huge surprise and people would have loved coming to that scene over and over again. I appreciate this movie, man. One of my favorites of this year. And now, the first one on the list, and it has to be X. I mentioned that there was a movie I was going to speak to you about, and this one is it. X was the best one in my opinion. My favorite one of this year. I actually saw this movie twice, and to be honest, this movie actually did remind me of kind of Texas Chainsaw Massacre in a way. This movie I had to watch a second time because it was just that great. The main part was where the old couple, they were killing the kids, and they did a really good job making the horror as well in this movie. And that's why I had to say it has been my number 1. I watched it twice, and just the horror. They took their time on building the characters up, and that's why it has been my number 1 on the list. So what do you guys think? Did you like this list? What are your favorite horror movies of 2022? Remember, you guys can leave your comments below on this video. For my next video, it's not gonna be for next Friday, okay? For 2023, I will be bringing out the old content, how I used to put it out before. If you guys have seen my Michael Myers video and Jason video, these videos, they were like my favorite ones to do. I can't wait to put out a video like that on the next one. Thank you so much for watching these videos. I've been posting them for 15 weeks straight, man. For 15 weeks straight. I've been posting them since September. It was kind of hard, man. It was a difficult journey to put out these videos. Just coming up with the ideas and stuff. Hopefully for next year, I will be bringing you out way better content. Alrighty guys, that is it for this video. Thank you so much for watching. Like this video, subscribe to the channel, follow me on my social medias. Links will be down in the description below. As always guys, live to the fullest.